Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of YouTube. In today's video we continue the interview with David Warner and we find out about cryptocurrency. Most people think of it as an investment, but we find out in the discussion with David today that it's actually more like gambling. So make sure you stay until the end of the video, especially those of you guys that are thinking about buying some cryptocurrencies or already have some cryptocurrency. And you think of it as an investment, you're going to want to hear what David has to say about it. So make sure you stick to the end of the video. Let's take a look. Cryptocurrency is more popular than ever.
Yeah.
Where does that come into play? Is that a good vehicle for investing? Tell us a little bit about your understanding of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, cryptocurrencies is it's very interesting, and I've been watching it. It's not something that I'm ready to kind of leap into myself, because use the most popular one, Bitcoin. The other day just dropped $500 in one day.
Wow.
That's a pretty big move. The thing about cryptocurrencies right now is they have no utility. There's nothing being priced in Bitcoin. I can't go buy anything in Bitcoin. I can't buy. There's so many cryptocurrencies out there right now. And so it's just like, where do you put your money in that space? Nothing's priced in it, so the only people that are really purchasing these cryptocurrencies, they're purchasing like it is gold, like it's a store of value. And they just feel like, it's like, if I buy it right now, I'll be able to find somebody years down the road, they're gonna wanna pay way more for what I just bought that has absolutely no utility on this planet yet. Cryptocurrencies are interesting, just being kind of a Forex or just a US dollar trader. It's hard to envision that any of our global central banks are going to allow some other kind of currency that they did not create is going to be allowed over time, or to actually have a utility. So until that's kind of figured out, where cryptocurrencies have a utility where people can buy things with it.
If I'm understanding you correctly, and this is, I'm learning myself right now as well, it sounds like crypto will not have any utility unless it's got its blessings from the central banks of the world, right? The Fed and the other international, central banks. But that's not likely to happen,
right,
unless it's something they themselves have created.
That's very true. And the other thing is, it's not only just the blessings of the central banks, because if it was more stable, like the Amazons of the world and the Walmarts of the world, they would probably, look to price things in these cryptocurrencies. But anything that can drop in value $500, make or lose 10-12% in a day, it's just not anything that any major retailer is going to want to price their goods in.
In contrast, how much does the dollar fluctuate?
Very little. Yeah. Okay. So the fluctuations in the dollar, it could make or lose, basically 1% against a trading partner, any given day. But anything more than that it would bring too much instability, to trade, and it just so most kind of paper currencies, or the currencies as we know them, the currencies we spend in the store, they don't change very much in value any given day.
Right. Whereas cryptocurrencies I've seen, they can fluctuate double digits sometimes in a day.
Yeah.
And that's just way too much volatility for anyone, any of the big companies or institutions to adopt. Therefore, it won't really influence the central banks or anyone to
That's correct.
adopt it as well.
Anybody that gets into the crypto space they're not, I wouldn't even say they're really trading it. They're buying it and holding it and crossing their fingers.
Gotcha.
And so when I meet people that are in crypto, it's that's usually what it is. It's like you're buying lottery tickets, in a sense, because how many articles did we see when Bitcoin was at 10,000 that it was going to be $100,000 and
I remember those days, yeah.
And where the whole craze was, where it went up to $20,000 because everybody jumped in, and it fell to $3,000. Everybody jumped out, now it's jumped back up, and then 10, and then it's 7, and it's 5, and it's just like it's all over the map. I know somebody that made a lot of money in crypto very, very fast. And he would use those profits from what he made to buy more, and he would just buy more. And then as the cryptocurrencies stopped, going up, he was using his profits to buy more at the lower prices, where he made a ton of money. For the most part, now he is underwater.
Oh gosh.
Because he would just end up buying things way too high, and now they're not worth half of what he even paid for them.
That trajectory actually sounds very similar to what we hear about how most lottery winners actually end up poorer within 5 to 6 years of their winnings, and it's a common story among professional athletes as well. They make tens of millions, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars throughout their career.
Yeah, sad.
And it just goes away. They end up,
that's also part of just the whole building wealth. Just spending all this money on depreciating assets. Going out and buying a brand new car. Every couple years, or expensive material possessions that it may give you a good feeling for a short period of time, but in the long run, the money that you're spending on these things could have been better spent, putting it into, investments, into the stock market, something along those lines.
So there you have it, guys. Crypto is actually more of a gamble than it is an investment, mostly because the central banks of the world don't recognize it as an actual currency. And if you're not familiar with what the central banks are, just consider them as if money was a sport, then the central banks would be like the league commissioners. They're the ones that update the rules and update what and enforce the rules. And so it's really up to them. They're the gatekeepers. So until they adopt cryptocurrency as something that has utility in the world, we're not going to see it replace the dollar or anything like that. However, in sports, sometimes we actually see rare occasions where superstars can actually influence the league, right? And so in the money sporting world, that can happen as well. So if major retailers like Amazon or Walmart would start to adopt cryptocurrencies as a legitimate currency and price things in Bitcoin and Ethereum and etc., then that might actually catch the attention of the central banks, because a huge global retailer is now looking at it seriously, right? They might collaborate. But we also know that, as David mentioned, that because crypto is so unstable and there's so many of them, it's unlikely that the retailers are looking at it. But hey, you never know. So never say never. But for now, until we see one of the bigger forces at play adopt it, it is still like putting your money in a casino or buying lottery tickets when it comes to cryptocurrency. That's not to say you shouldn't do it. I like gambling. I go to the casinos. I like to play blackjack. Poker, not so much. I don't really have the patience for it. I like to play craps, although I'm still learning. There's a lot to that game. So I like gambling. I'm not saying don't do it. Just don't treat it like an investment and expect that to retire you or anything like that. It's kind of like buying lottery tickets and using lottery tickets as a retirement plan. Not the best idea. There are other vehicles that are a better fit for that. So more of those tips to come. Make sure to subscribe and like the video and leave a comment because I'd really like to hear about what you think about cryptocurrencies. Do you have them? Are you regretting that you bought it, or are you very thankful that you bought it? Are you a crypto millionaire? I'd really like to know. So jump down in the comment section and leave me a line, and stay tuned for more from YouTube.